And here we are. Just double checking that everything is up and ready. I will get this back down to 50%. This I will lower a little bit more for specific reasons. Now, let's finally showcase... It's weird that it's spelled that way. Alright then. Let's finally... Well, let me tell you a few things that happened. I believe we had the carrot farm already shown, so there's that. I found the potatoes I found over up in that direction. I decided to plant them too. Went back down to the mines to gather more cobblestone, which inevitably I ended up gathering a lot of gravel too. And of course, there were a bunch of ores. And several diamonds I ended up finding along the way. And I've got so much redstone that I'm gonna have to make at least turn this into a stack of blocks. Because we got too many. Of course, I also planted more of the emerald seeds over there, and took out some of the sand to make room for dirt. So there's the emerald farm over there. And of course, let me check. And of course, let's find some aluminum and actually smelt some. I have gravel ore too. Before we're able to, prepare defending this village, we gotta have at least some way to improve things. Let me check that I have no copper in here. Doesn't look like it. And of course, another thing I did off-stream, I bred more of the sheep and more of the cows. And I'm still keeping the one with the cat and hat. And this is why I set the volume a lot lower. Because I had a feeling it wasn't going to go well. Now then, while we wait for this aluminum to actually smelt, and it finally did, gonna get this first batch of aluminum. Get the second batch of aluminum. Go and shear some more sheep, because we actually need wool for this. If it were up to me, I probably would use the shears and breed so many sheep, but for everybody's ears, I made sure to have the volume lowered. Except for when I'm a little too obnoxious. But right there. Even with all these cows in here, there's still Kirby's that spawn. And at the very least, I know which one of the brown sheep has the Pikachu-looking hat. Well, face, to be exact. Now then, let's go ahead and gather all of this and head back to, firstly, improve the tools here. We'll need to right here. And actually, before I do that, I'm gonna make sure that my phone is on silent. Don't need an interruption for that. Now, in the last stream, we crafted the alumite stuff. The alumite tools. And the bronze hammer and excavator. Well then. Why don't we use emeralds here? And as you can see, it improves the durability by about 50%, in addition to being reinforced. In fact, all these tools are pretty much reinforced. I think that's what the copper one does. It's reinforced 1 or 2. Yes, even the shovel gets it. And there's all of that. Another thing to look at... There they are. I decided to dedicate this small room here to be the enchanting room. Okay, good. There is no dark spots. We have level 28 enchantments now. And eventually when we do end up going to the Nether, not this stream, but maybe a stream after this, possibly the next one, which in turn will require us to not stay here, because I already told you about the coordinate issue with Nether portals. To make it safe, we'd have to go all the way over here to where this star well is. Actually, let me find that bug report. About Nether portals could fail to link both ways from close to 0. I think this has pretty much been an issue since... probably since the Nether's existence, because... that can be ignored. Alright. So, how close does the Nether portal have to be to fail? And it's on negative coordinates too, which makes it even worse. That's why we have to make the portal right around here. Yeah, there's a bug report. Let me put this in both YouTube chat and Twitch chat just so you can see the bug report. This is the one that I mentioned, because this is the one that dedicates that Nether portals can fail to link in here too, that we can use. The what? Alright then, what was so exciting about doing this? You might be asking, it's just a bunch of wire. Well, it is true that it is a bunch of wire. However, it's used in a bunch of recipes. And the good thing is we have stone buckets. And of course we have to make a lever as well, which thankfully, I think what we need is about 3. There are times where I randomly cut out, and that's because there's a certain door in this room that makes too much noise. Sorry, I can't really do anything about that. I'm gonna make 3 of these levers just in case. So we got the levers, which we don't need that. That's not what we needed. But yeah, this is what we needed it for. Let's also make half a stack of redstone torches, because those are also important. And yeah, put away the dirt, because I still kept the dirt chest over here for some reason. Oh yeah, let me list 2 achievements that I mentioned. I got this one by mistake, and it was honest. I thought about making bookshelves, and I did that and got this achievement by mistake. Still haven't done anything about that. It's hard to believe, but a witch jumped. I got jumped by a witch exploring a lava cave. And my response, the witch died in less than 2 seconds. I was too focused on a creeper that was in that same cave, which promptly despawned as soon as I got back to it. Alright then. And where's the other recipe that I was looking for? Oh right, we need furnaces too. So let's make a furnace first. Nope, that's not what we need it for. Alright, get away from the Ender IO stuff. We need some iron ingots for this one, and of course copper ingots too. Which thankfully we still have. First off, let's build the coal generator. Wait, isn't the... Okay, good, it does not need regular redstone. I was misremembering something. This is where the button and the 2 buttons in the lever make use. And we don't really have that much space. Alright. Coal generators right here. And in turn, we use the coal generator to power the circuit fabricator. We need diamonds. We need redstone, which we have plenty of redstone here, so that won't be a problem. We need this silicon, which I found quite a bit of silicon off during the off time of mining, so there was that. Oh, is this where we need redstone torches? Wait, let me understand the circuit fabricator first. Trying to remember, I think the circuit fabricator needs... Okay, I was right about putting the redstone here, so... sun's about to go down. Right, so the other thing I want to research is the golem. Is the golem head. And more specifically, the spell. I'm just killing squid. Wait, how many do you get? Just one? Yeah, just one. We won't do anything with that at the moment, so that won't be our main focus of the defense mechanism. Do I have enough leather to actually make... I have enough leather to make 2 more bookshelves. I'll use the wood in here to make the bookshelves. And of course put up with pre 1.8 enchantments. Well, level 30. Oh, thank goodness we got Fortune 3 out of that. Okay. It might have been the only thing we got out of this pickaxe, but at the very least I can finally put away a bunch of things because we got too many things in this inventory. For one, the emeralds have to be put away. Putting away the wool, because we generally don't need a bunch of wool. Why is it that every time I open this furnace? Why is it that the furnace is in a cobblestone? Why is it with this chest specifically? An oddity of... It's just an oddity. Actually, we'll need the bucket. And a good thing about having a bunch of cobblestone here is we don't have to worry that much. Even if this is the only enchantment that we got, at the very least, it wasn't Silk Touch. Checking to make sure that nothing else... Good to know nothing else happened. Okay, that's iron. Now then, some of you pointing out that this might have been annoying. But with Fortune 3, there's no need to wait any longer. However, when it comes to big veins of redstone, that might be a problem. I'll get that silver another time. We got multiple veins of diamonds to mine. The lava's right above our head. That's why I couldn't mine into it. Of course, I found more, and of course mined one by the hammer. There's oil up here, so Ollie will have to find a way to get... 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The one I mined makes 8. What a weird vein of 8, though. Oh, actually, I'm gonna optimize this coal over here, too. Which in turn makes this even worse, because... Oh, do I hate flint so much. I won't be bothered to find that. Alright, that's all I wanted to take care of when it came to the... to down here, just to get these diamonds. We're not gonna need that flint. Actually, wait, isn't there a recipe that uses flint quite a lot? There is the ore processing upgrade, which that's not what we're looking at. No. Must be in shapeless, then. No, it's the pulverizer. Fine, then. When we do eventually make the pulverizer, we will... Basically... Oh, let me show you the little mine that I found, or more specifically dug into. And, of course, the main reason why I left so quickly. So right around here, I was looking around, seeing what there is. I saw the gold ore right here, this iron. Silver, there was the ore berries. Right about here is where I got jumped by this... No, right about here, looking around, is where I got jumped by a witch. There's plenty of lava here, so... If we ever need lava, we can always... You see where that creeper is? It was actually a concussion creeper that was over there. Yeah. We're gonna leave that creeper be. Yeah, I'm not about to do this again. I am not about to dig into another cave that... Honestly, I think that's a ravine that's right next to us. I'm not about to do that. Still weird that the silver ore doesn't even contribute to that much durability. Perhaps... It's a modifier that's similar to obsidian. Still have enough to get a full thing of aluminum. Alright then. This diamond vein, along with the 14 right here. This is the beauty of having Fortune 3, because we can replace this tool anytime. Of course, I failed to put away the wool. Something in here is definitely not right.
Hi, guys! Hi, Steve.
Well then. Your content is given, gotta connect with you. String message 2025 is my Discord. Alright then. As you can see, gotta put away this ore here. I know one recipe that specifically requires... iron blocks, and it requires an anvil to be specific. This is the next thing that we're going to make, as soon as we have the coal generator up and running. And of course, we gotta have these redstone torches here too, which we need to make a repeater, not a comparator. I'm not making the mistake I did. Oh. It's too bad that didn't spawn a spider. Oh, I'm definitely putting away this redstone. That's just a skeleton. We don't need a skeleton at the moment. What we do need is a sense of not blanking out. I'm gonna start with 4. I'll start with 4 of these. Now then, once we have the wafers, we can make not that. The compressor is logically the next thing to make. All this oxygen stuff too. This is not going to be enough. That's not going to be enough either. Wait, actually it might be. Actually, it is going to be enough. But will it generate 15? Or am I just asking too much of this? This will go down real fast soon. Yep. Now we got 15 of these. No, we can't put it back. Of course we're gonna need stone once again. I'm making this wrong, am I? I'm using cobblestone. Why am I using that when I'm supposed to use stone? Now then, we got the repeaters, so we can make a different type of wafer anytime we want. But what we're here for is to make this compressor, which requires 1 single copper ingot, 6 aluminum, this wafer down here, and the anvil. The advanced one requires compressed bronze, It requires a bunch of things that we don't have right now. As expected. Now then, what we need is to fuel it up. But with what exactly? You know all this copper that we have? We're finally about to make use of the copper gravel ore, which... I'll keep 12 for just in case. I'll be taking this copper right here. And the most important thing we need to do is basically empty out all of the aluminum. We can't have any of this. We have to have tin. Turned into cellular green. Yep. As expected, Kirby's that spawn in here just die instantly. And I think we can make one more. We'll make two if we do that. Gonna put the nuggets in here because we have too much. And with 18, we don't have to worry about this at all. I mean, we do have first-time chat, which... At least it's not a bot, that's for sure. Now then, the main reason why we need to have... There was another one somewhere. Fused with the smeltery. Yep. You see this tin that we have here? We need to turn some of this into bronze. And of course... Let's turn this stuff here into bronze first. We have tin right here, so at least we won't be short of tin. But we're primarily here waiting for it to turn into bronze. And the purpose here is to make it much easier to, well, compress it into bronze. We'll compress the bronze to be exact. I'm always different when it comes to streaming versus just having regular videos. We still need to find a way to make steel. So we'll wait for that to go. Let's see if there's anything about making steel. Now it's just the recipes that I added. And then there's vampire. Must be a shapeless one. Actually, I think I know what it's supposed to be. I think I use pulverized coal. Nope. It's an induction smelter that we need. 4 of these makes us steel. What? Charcoal? Oh. We're gonna need an induction smelter. Or we can compress iron with coal, which... Again, still requires that we have something that requires coal and iron. So either way, we don't really have much of a choice. Well, it is nice that we have coal. It probably won't last if we have to rely on it Every time. What we need from this is compressed bronze for the compressor. Thermal controller, 5 bronze. 6. We don't need that. Nope. Nope. Well, we'll need 6 for a start. Oh, and these wafers, we can also use them for something else. We need lapis, though. And you know what we have lapis? The circuit fabricator will require at least 8 of them. Which will require at least 1 to, start. And we'll need the other 7 for powering this. But we'll start with 4. Before this runs out completely. There's a zombie over there. For now, let's put away what we don't need right now. And for this... Actually, I'm just gonna go with the full stack rather than trying to be creative about this. That's gonna be a lot. But that won't be too much of an issue. At least for 1 furnace. For 4 furnaces, it's going to be an issue. See that we have a full stack in here, and we don't even have it close to being full. That's how you know. That's how you know you can build a better smeltery that doesn't stack vertically as much. Let me check over here. Now we have these solar panels, which would require us to have glass. And since we have 6 compressed bronze, we still need a way to have compressed steel. Galacticraft is one of those mods that is not... that you won't go through immediately. I will not make this into everything. Because I still want to have this aluminum wire. What we can do, though, is make these solar panels. And this is going to require us to have compressed steel. Which in turn we need more compressed steel. Just to make a pole. There's something else we can also do here. We can make a heavy aluminum wire by taking a piece of wool, one of the standard wires, and aluminum. Which we have 2 of those, but not the wool. So let's start with 8. Do this right here. But now, nope. We have the... We have the capabilities, but we don't have the materials. The repeaters are back in the chest. I want to make sure that this is generating before we catch anything else. Quickly, we can make an advanced wafer, which in turn, that's something we can't make yet. Can't make that either. Especially since it requires a material that we don't have access to. This coal generator is going to be tiresome real fast. But if we look here, this is where the electric compressor is. We need this for a NASA workbench. And in turn, we need a bunch of compressed steel. The solar panel that I preferably make over the other one. This we don't even have the ability to make yet. In fact, there's so many things that we can't even get close to making. This is for a... No, we're not looking for a cargo rocket. There are things in there that we're not ready to deal with yet. In a future stream, I'm going to... Well, it's not going to be in a stream, but I am going to separate this and start heading out towards a different direction. Oh, and I suppose we should also have compressed copper as well, so any remaining tin that we have in here we should probably get out. Get all that iron in there, and that's just a little... How many of these? Of course. I just need to put 3 in here. Hmm? That's just my watch saying skeleton. Dang, I was not quick enough. I actually wanted the armor. I'm right about this. We should be able to get this out of here by the time. There we go, with no tin or aluminum left. We can make some copper. Oh, and by the way, we need lots of tin, which is why we need to make this as soon as possible. Because the thing that requires so much tin is going to take a long time. Oh, and... oh, and, of course... We still need copper, so... I'll just have to deal with ingot casts. Hello there. Looks like you've managed to make it. I was mainly making sure that the YouTube side was actually still up, because sometimes it's a little finicky. Especially when it comes to dual streaming. So what we're doing here is making Galacticraft stuff. And of course we're also going to prepare a way to defend this village. Because we're gonna need to find a way. The sooner I find a way to make compressed steel, the better. I'll put this all away for now, because we need room in this inventory. Actually, I'll put these both in here, too. Right, wrong chest. Oh yeah, I got this when I killed a zombie that was hiding in one of the tree clumps over there. Enter IO. So that's one of the purposes of collecting those mob heads. It's not just a Tinker's Construct thing. Of course, we're gonna also make an ore processing upgrade, which in turn requires us to make a bunch of stone. So while that's happening, we're gonna do the next best thing. Get stuck in the door. No. The next best thing would be to get some iron out of the smeltery. I mean, look at it. 300 iron in here. It's an even luckier thing that we decided to settle here, because we have an island that we can dedicate to a cactus farm, which in turn, in one of my previous streams, which those archives will actually go on my second YouTube channel once the stream cap actually hits again. They won't stay permanently on Twitch, because I still need to find a way to make this work, but in a previous stream we found this desert here, and I was able to get a bunch of cacti here. In turn, I actually want to make waystones for that place too. Everything's still here. We're gonna get 20 blocks of iron. By then, we probably will have less than 100 iron. It's a good thing that I can still do this at 72060. Which, while I have the capability of outputting a single stream to 1080-60, the biggest issue I have for that is storage. And I wouldn't even have close to enough storage if I had to do that for every single one. Oh man, this one, let's just say that one's not going to happen anytime soon. Of course, we still need to have other materials too. Redstone is as important as it is. Oh, actually, I think this is how it's done. Wait, how many is required? At least 12? Yeah, I think it is 12. That's why we have the flint here. And that's also why we have stone. A good thing we have more than enough of that, and we have more than enough diamonds, thanks to the fact that I got Fortune 3 on this pickaxe. Nope, that's wood. I like having infinite stuff, so the first upgrades that will go in the furnaces will be these ore processing ones. I also like having... No, not the upgrade package. I like having storage upgrades too, which in turn requires chests. I'm just gonna turn 8 of these into chests. Is it the way I'm making it? Yeah, it is. So you might think that we need to put this in here. That's not how these storage upgrades work. You have to shift right-click the furnaces. And here is where you have an upgrade package. I do consider it an upgrade package. It could make liquid fuel, but I don't want to make that at the moment. We have all these furnaces up here to turn this into. The main reason is I want to finally get one single achievement with gold. Well, I suppose I will test out the iron right here. So if I didn't have this here, we would still get a single gold ingot. But with the advanced ore processing upgrade, we have 2. You might think that might not make that much of a difference, which if I was using a different mod pack, probably would, but with iron, it makes a huge difference. Not to mention, one of these in the smelter already makes 2 iron ingots, so this is just a way to have... So, you're still probably asking, that's completely useless. Nether ores. That's where these come in. say I got another gold ore. In a furnace, I'd normally get 2 of these. But with this, I could get 4. And you might be asking, what exactly does nether ores have to do with this? Oh, Twilight Force is a bunch of this too. Oh, what a way to not have durability. Well, it makes, well, not Lapis, but Lapis benefits so much from Fortune 3. Just like Redstone. Let's see if there's anything else that requires compressed bronze. Not that I can think of. How about for this little short section here of making compressed iron, I will be silent for just a moment. With all of this, it's still quite a time process with this compressor. And to be honest, I don't think this house is gonna cut it either. Of course this was built in this spot to be exact. But I think it's just gonna be too small for what we have here. Luckily, we have a bunch of materials here. And of course, gears. There was another thing that required diamond gears, and it was not the zone planner. It was the builder. Which in turn requires me... Hold on a moment. Alrighty then, I've returned. That counts as pausing for some reason. Alrighty then. Let's see, there was... Right, as I mentioned before, I decided to check on what was going on in the background. I mentioned that this house will be too small for anything else, and I would want to move over here. It's gonna take a very long time. Of course, there's also the iron right here. If I remember, we're gonna need at least some steel. And to make that, we're gonna need the compressor to compress 2 coal with a compressed iron. So, let's do that. Right here is where we make the solar panels. Wait, I grabbed the wrong thing. I needed those ones, not those ones. This is where having a steel pole is needed. Because we need 3 of those just to make 1 of those. Which means minimum we'll need 11 compressed steel just to make 2 of these solar panels. So, to make a storage module, we'll need 6 of these. And to make the batteries, we'll need compressed tin. There's so much we need to do. But we're in no rush. We can always manage our time with that. Oh yeah, let me get the horse that I... Is it this one? No, it was not that one. Is it this one? How is it that I grabbed the same one twice? That's a donkey. Is it the very first one? No, that's the roaster. And that's a chicken. I've completely confused myself. Please tell me this is the one. 3? No. Yeah. Let's not squish. Let's not suffocate ourselves in the wall. Or ceiling, in this case. Let's just use this horse for now. This might be a good start, but this is just barely anything. We're not making that. What we're going to do right away is make another anvil. So with the one compressed bronze we have, and failing to get anything here, including the wafer, this requires an advanced wafer, which we've already made. Anvil on top, the compressed bronze here. Now we got ourselves an electric compressor. Which means no more fuel consumption. If it were that simple. You see, we have everything that's needed. But we still need to make the steel poles. Which in turn, we need this. Wait, where does this go? Top, of course. Steel poles go right here. Now we have 2 of these. And with this, we will have to do something about that. Which we'll have to another time. Or another day, literally. Of course, there's also a stream that I want to do in the future that relates to a cake dungeon. Which I'm trying to think if we already got one on the map somewhere. Probably either this is a cake dungeon or it's probably one of those treasure dungeons. Not a bad trade, but not a good one either. It's good in the fact that it helps us get emerald apples, but at the same time... Spider? I have to take these both out. Okay, that one's too far away, thankfully. drop what we need? Of course it didn't. The other one's a skeleton. I'm not gonna bother with a skeleton. Well, whatever I want to show, it's gonna have to wait a little longer. Because I cannot get the spider to drop its eye. Oh, and it does not drop its eye if I'm not the one that kills it. This will be a big issue quickly if they cannot find a way to make this work. I set this one block to a little too far. And what it's doing here is it's gathering energy. I think there's something that we need to rest aluminum for, but... I can't remember what it was. But we're gonna need a lot of aluminum for this. And I'm completely dumb. That we don't need that much. Why couldn't the spider have dropped a spider eye? Those can be put away. Why is it that specific chest that turns weird? In the meantime, let's get more wool, which we'll also need for something else. Noxious noise hint, which thankfully is a lot lower. It might be too much. But I don't... But we're not gonna stay here for too long. As long as we have everything needed. All that, I keep getting ones. You know that terrible luck that you get sometimes with wool? Pretty certain I got every single one of them as ones that isn't white. And I mean every single one of them. That's not where I want to put the lever. This is where I want to put the wire. Temporarily until we find a better spot. Why do I never prepare for this? And I'm not using gravel either. Not meant to look good, it's just meant to look functional. And there we go, we finally have this up and running. However, we really do have to get rid of this bunch of trees. It's gonna get in the way if we don't. Of course, cut this one down because it got too close. Now we have both solar panels active and running. That should give us enough energy to make more compressed steel. Actually, what about compressed aluminum? Let's see, 2 of those are definitely required. 3 definitely. 6. So 8. It's just that. 11. 13. 14. Got this. Nope. That's gonna be a problem real fast. I've also noticed another issue as well. If we don't have enough silicon, we won't be able to make anything else. So that means we don't have a way to make any more until we have more silicone. We have no silicon left. So we can't do anything with the circuit fabricator until we have more. Where's the book that we need? It's a shapeless one, isn't it? Nope. Nope. Definitely no. Can't do anything with that. Turret golem. Style golem. Golem man. There's a lot we can do here. Phoenix feather, we won't get that anytime soon. If we want to do anything with that, then we gotta make something else first. I'm saying no to that. There's a lot we can do, but let's focus on taking out squid. Jumping on this one's pretty sad. It's about 2.5 blocks of jumping height. Oh, and I did a little bit more with with the quarry, so I used 2 coal blocks on each one, and that's how far it went. If we had something else, that would make things a lot easier. We're here to take out some squid. And get hats in the process. Okay, that creeper's not anywhere close to us. And yeah, this is all sand. Took out all those squid right there. There's a cave over there. When we eventually get over here, after expanding the basic part of our village, we got a lot of work to do. In fact, so much work that I might end up losing our way. There's some squid over here. It's dumb, but we need this for buildcraft. That one's specifically for the hat and no other reason. Pickaxe in a head. A lot of times where I make these series happen, I usually have a practice world. Wait, there's a horse over here the whole time? I'm trying to think if this horse was here the whole time, or if it just spawned in. Oh, please don't get close to the volcano. A lot more responsive than some of the other horses I've had. We'll come back for that one. For now, let's finally get Buildcraft somewhere. And show the exact reason why I finally wanted to upgrade this house over here. And of course bring a saddle, but we have plenty of them. Do we have anything else that's required? Flowers. Crafting table on the chest. And a land marker. We have a land marker, thankfully. Unfortunately, we don't have a crafting table for this. Except I completely forgot we had crafting tables. Why do I never remember this? Like, crafting tables... Crafting station? Wait, before anything else happens, grab another one of these, grab the horse that's over there, and maybe on the way, hey, we can just use these flowers here. I'll make 4 of them into dye, just in case. Just have some kind of yellow dye or something. Gotta be careful about those caves too, because there's so many of them over here. Huh? There's some gravel ore that I never got. Definitely a step up. I think it's slightly faster too. This one? Pretty decent jumping. Oh yeah, I did tame a horse on the other side that requires us to go... Up here somewhere, I tamed a horse and I was eventually gonna go back for it, but completely forgot. Now then, do we have everything needed to finally make that builder? Yeah, it looks like we're not stopping there. Now we gotta make the architect table. Whoa. Why? Without those, we wouldn't even have enough to make what we need. And you know what? Since we have crafting tables in here, I'm turning one of these into a crafting station. Does it also require a land marker? Why don't I make more land markers instead? And then I can put the one back in here. I think to make the blueprint is to surround paper. I think this is the one we need. So, the chest, which we need the builder for, and I want to check achievements again. I was supposed to build them the other way around. You know what? Just this once. Just this once. I won't do anything else, just this one thing. I'll take what I can and get rid of it until we get it legitimately. Yeah, I don't think so. I won't do anything like that. Hopefully again. Because I'm not going through that again just to get the achievement. It was pretty much an honest mistake. Will not be supported in the future. That must have been That probably was before 1.13's release. We still need to make an electronics library. And to make that, thankfully we need bookshelf. But I was forward thinking and thought about this already. I know there's more than 34. Wait, hold on. Okay, then never mind. Make 22 of those. It's obvious we're gonna need some of this. But we already have these. So that's why we have the extra bookshelves ready to go. It's gonna require iron ingots, a single piece of redstone. And you know the most important thing I have here is forgetting the redstone. Oh, and I can show this off now. When I have 64 emerald shards, I could do the boring thing of putting this in the crafting table and getting these. But if I right-click them, I get emerald pieces. And if I right-click the emerald pieces and have at least 8 of them, I get an emerald from that. So, iron gear, let's get another one of these. But before we do, just double check that we have everything. Yep. That's not what we're doing. At least I wasn't completely dumb the whole time and forgot to turn the mic back on while explaining this. We can build templates, and of course we can all make a refinery. We can also make an assembly table, and we can make all of these too. The templates aren't going to be as helpful though. So, building the architect table. The architect table allows us to save... Let me showcase an example. I think we need just land. I think we just need landmarks. I believe we need at least 4. But I'll make 5 just in case. What this does is if the sun wasn't setting so soon, we would actually showcase this. You'll be staying there until the sun actually is setting. What I'm trying to say here is the landmarks are needed for the architect table to work. But there are other types too, like the construction mark and the path marks. Let's just say we don't have to deal with that. Come on, son. Don't make me wait too long. Actually, don't make us wait too long. Alright then, let me showcase the architect table in full action, and why we needed to make that before the builder, and not the other way around like I did. What we're about to do is go over to this little barn house. Let me go back and get a fence. Actually, I think a cobblestone wall would work too. Oh, there's pigs here, so we can get pigs anytime we want. It's just we had to go somewhere else for sheep. Right then, I'm never prepared for anything, am I? I just remembered we have no fences left. Put that away first. And all these horses that we have, we're eventually gonna have to make a stable. But for now, let's focus on showcasing what the architect table is capable of. First off, we gotta clear everything out of here. That also means the clovers have to go. Sorry, Emerald Seeds, you can't stay in this one. That means this small patch of grass has to go too. I've had enough of that grass. Wasn't so stubborn. Now then. I'm gonna sneeze. Alright, sorry about that. I had to do something else and probably took at least a minute or two. Now then, the real reason why we need to do this. Remember... Oh wait, I never showcased it, so if I right-click these landmarks, this little red line here shows up. If I go to the other side... and do this, I've basically got the entire base right here. If you notice, there's a lack of torches here. So there's one wood missing. Oh, thankfully, there's a tree over here. Imagine if I had to do Sky Factory and that happened, where I had no saplings. But was it worth it just to grab this one piece of wood? I think so. This is a basis of my own little quality of life improvements. Just without any Kirby's involved. Yeah, that's about the height that we have here. Now then, the architect table. This is where this comes in. You place the land markers around where you want them. Then you place the architect table where you want the structure. You know, I have a shovel for this reason. Oh, you've got to be joking. Why did you turn into one of these slimes? Why does it turn... Never mind, I'm just gonna use the actual shovel. Actually, I'll be quicker and use the excavator. Now, whatever this grabs is what it's gonna use the materials for. This barn house, for example, doesn't have that many. It has cobblestone, it has wood, it's got glass, the doors, torches, and fences. And stairs. So what you do is right-click the architect table. What you do here is name it what you want. In this case, since it's basically a barn house, I will call it a... Hold on. Okay, I think this is how it is. You also need to take either a blueprint or a template, and it will copy it. Just like that. The template's basically the same recipe, except you put an ink sac in there. No, you put an ink sac in place of lapis. Or, you know, any other mod that has some kind of black dye. Or pulverized coal. F-Bloom does that. Basically, whatever's needed here. After we're done, that's basically it. Now then, what we can do at this point is take the barn house that was copied from there, and say we wanted to I don't know, place a barn house right here. This will indicate the estimated area that's needed. In which, if there's anything in the way like these oxy daisies here, it'll clear them out to make room for the barn house. In this case, this is all the materials we need. Yeah. But of course, that's not the only thing we can do. Remember the electronic library that we made? We can send this in here. And see, we have the barn house, market shop. So what I want to do here is say I want to select this here. I must take a blank one of these. So if I wanted to say select a village large house upgrade, I can take that and do that. But I am curious what this... Oh, I think I know what it is. I just forgot that I was there. There's also... Yeah, never mind. So, say I took this village large house upgrade. Place it here. This is all the stuff I would need just for that. That also includes glass panes and trapdoors. And you know what this means? I'm gonna have to tear down this house. It's unfortunate, but... Hear me out. If I tear down this house here, I could turn it into a much better house. Put those both back in here, because we don't need them. I'm gonna put the dirt away, because we don't need dirt either. Yep, as expected. As expected, Automod caught a bot. And of course, as expected, first time bot is also a last time bot. You know, I'll leave the horse out for now. This is probably what happened in the first place. I'm gonna check one more thing. And it's actually part of... See if I have any screenshots. Oh yeah, I got the weird death message of death.attack.piercing.arrow. Guess I don't. I have one more theoretical, not in Buildermon pack, but I have screenshots from. Nope. I thought I did, but nope. Two skeletons here. I do kind of want to get the bones. And the other one has a zombie. Didn't even drop anything. I didn't get another one, did I? No. Alright then, next day, that village house will be torn down, and a new one will take its place. And just like the others, redstone engines will not work. Wrong chest. I think this was also one that requires a bunch of beds. You know the thing about not needing silk touch? That's not gonna work. It's unfortunate that we won't be able to do anything about the pains. Well, we have enough durability. I hope we have enough durability for this. The house will look much better than what it does now. It just requires us to tear this down. I think that one curve I managed to knock down is still trying to get me. Perhaps things like this would be why I prefer to not have them shown. Well, no, not that. If only it was possible to vein mine, but it's not. Come on. Perhaps it might be faster using the hammer. If this is done right, perhaps being an upgraded house might be more beneficial to the villagers. Oh, the inevitable. Probably should do that. I've been a little too careless about my health. So hard to think that it took almost half a day just to tear this house down. But hey, it won't stay an empty lot for too long. After all, the inventory's too full to have anything else in here, so that means getting rid of all the cobblestone walls. It's so weird, the grass does whatever it wants. Sometimes it's just instantly the moment I uncover dirt, and other times it just takes so long to cover with grass. Now that the hard part is over, the fun part begins. All of this area that's going to be claimed by just one building. It won't be oriented like that. Actually, never mind. I don't want it oriented like that. I also want the builder out here. Wrong. Like wrong in every single way. Preparing a village defense system, though. Requires so many things. But I cannot stand to have a full inventory anymore, so... I'm gonna grab a single sterling engine. Oh, I still have a bunch of dirt. In fact, what is one thing that we can simply put away? Besides the fact that I don't have stairs. I think the regular glass will be put away as well as the blank blueprint. But we will need so many doors opening. Please stop. We're gonna need a bunch of stairs too. And I don't think that's even close to enough stairs that we need. Gotta remove that torch first. I just want to see if it'll do anything. Right, redstone power. How could I simply forget about a lever? I simply want to see if the outline's gonna work. By putting these in first. That actually go for it. I will have to turn that off for now, because we don't find bugs. I was gonna say we don't have enough fences, but the bugs are annoying. And we don't have enough trapdoors either. So you know what that means? We gotta make more stairs. And of course make more fences too. Thankfully we don't need a bunch of those stairs. Or at least a bunch of the trapdoors. But we are missing chests, so we can't really do anything else about it. You know, I remember the trapdoors, but not the doors. And I think that's the exact amount of doors needed. Yeah, it is the amount of doors that's needed. So we got the doors. Get the trapdoors here. Get the torches, the fences, the stone stairs, which we thankfully have. And continue this. And please don't put the trapdoors on the fort. Of course you are. You're stubborn. But where did the other two trapdoors go? Oh, do we not need a bunch of trapdoors? Is it seriously waiting for slabs? Alright, then you want slabs? I'll give you slabs. It'll look fully complete as soon as the slabs are placed. Don't forget the doors, because I'm forgetting them too. don't think either one of you is going to have the chance to take a look here. Seriously, that looks off. For some reason. And somehow, a villager got stuck. All the Kirby's that are right here. I will definitely say it looks better than what it looked like. Despite the trapdoors. And that's just a village large house. Now I gotta take everything back. Since apparently we didn't need all of this. And hey, I don't need to place this at all. And it did not get in the way of the tree farm, so there's that. I will say I am tempted to build the barn house. Just to see what it requires, besides the fact I have to make iron bars for one single thing. Oh, actually, the barn house could actually be used... The barn house could actually be used as like a storage thing. Yeah, I want to use the barn house for that, so... We're gonna need so much. But thankfully, there's no beds involved. There's so many Kirby's around. I can't even make enough stairs for this. I need 4 stacks of wooden planks. You know what? I'll get the materials that we already have out first. Before we go back. Oh yeah, the fences will be placed in that direction. So, there's all of those. We don't have enough stairs, so we're gonna have to make more. We need 4 doors for this one. We have the exact amount of panes that we need. There's the slabs. There's a stack of logs. We have exact number of fences. Got torches. We primarily need cobblestone, which... not a problem. I already have that cobblestone. So the problems we have is we don't have sufficient doors or stairs. Luckily, the stairs problem can be fixed. The doors, though, that's gonna be a different story. I know I made that many doors on purpose, but I came back here to give the one single iron bar that's needed. And you might be wondering, what does this have to do with the village defense system? Honestly, I misplaced this one by one. I want it to be a little further out. I don't need all this cobblestone and gravel. Especially if I'm getting the stairs fixed. There's that, the stack of logs, fences, slabs, have enough panes, I've got torches, got the doors here, and I got the one iron bar. I'll just have to burn stairs. Now then, we shouldn't have anything in the... okay, the torch. Now that we have this starting to copy, it'll use up a lot of resources, and that's why we have the 64 locks. The barn house will definitely be... I'll have my modifications of the barn house. Uh-oh. It uses petrified slabs rather than the oak. I'm gonna have to deal with that. You know this design that I copied? And how I forgot to grab dirt again? because I'm completely unprepared. You can't get those types of slabs since I think 1.3, when the other types were added. Luckily for us, we have a solution. That solution's gonna be ugly, though. Apparently the barn house uses petrified slabs. So when I used the slabs, good thing that zombie burned to death. I'm gonna have to redo everything in this one. Oh, why, son? Why do you have to do this? Just before we're able to build the barn house? That's so needed. A block that you can't obtain normally. Take the idiot slabs. My frustration on knowing that it uses a slab type that you can't get. As soon as I'm done building. I will make sure that it doesn't use that type ever again. I will make sure that it doesn't use that type ever again. Because not only do I have to update the electronic library, but I also have to go back. I wasn't supposed to do this. I gotta do something about all this water. Not every stream is perfect, or... In this example, of a stream. You can clearly see why that even though I'm prepared, I'm not at the same time. These landmarks, why do they have to be stubborn? Okay, that one actually fell down this time. Now then, let me find this again and overwrite it. Now that it doesn't require the old slab variant. I'm gonna have to be careful about this, though. Am I just about to leave without the horse? Come here, we're going to take a ride. Not in the cave, though. And not down there. Now then, when I go back to look at this, that is more like it. So now, we delete the old barn house and update it with this new one. And of course, go back to get some more fence gates. We have slabs in here for stone. Yeah, but that's not going to be enough slabs for this one. Come to think of it, I don't think 10's gonna be enough either. Actually, I overdid it again. And I think I won't have enough of something and then I make too much of something. Now the cobblestone walls sound interesting to use, so... Why don't we put these in here for safekeeping? And of course... It is double-sided, so technically we would have required 4 fence gates. Anything else besides the one bot comments? No. You gotta move. You've got to. Actually, I wasn't over-exaggerating. At the very least, this will be a good storage area for Buildcraft, because I can just route the transport pipe through probably this one and have chests ready to be loaded with stuff. And of course the other side's gonna be the same. I guess I wasn't exactly over-exaggerating. But this does mean I'm gonna have to move a bunch of things. A lot of them just get that for just being plain dumb. Ugh. Yeah, I think this will be like a little place for horses until a proper stable can be built. I have to move. So, the golem. This will be the last thing to look at before ending off. We're gonna need feathers. And unfortunately, I don't think we have a feather in sight. But what we do have are the roasters and the chicken that we have. And the spawning for a chicken. And seeds, because let's go back and get some seeds. I think what I'll put next to the barn house is probably where the pumpkin and melon farms are gonna be. I... I've... Oh, oh, that's why they're roasters, because they place roses, technically. I guess I can't breed them together. I guess that's a cool thing about these. I can get... It probably would have made more sense when they were actual roses and not poppies. But there are chickens that we can get. So, that last thing about getting chickens. Let's actually get some chickens before we actually make this thing here. It also requires a piece of paper, so let's get a piece of paper, a single redstone, and an ink sac. So long, Wish Star, we don't need you. At least it makes getting roses or poppies in this instance much easier. Put these away. Put those away too. The azure bluets have to be put away too. Now then, let's get some chickens over here. And I actually mean regular chickens. There's a baby zombie. And I'm not too keen on having a baby zombie ruin this day for us. Oh, I am mean on that one. Was it just those 4 chickens? I'm certain there's more if we go a little further this direction. As in, there's gotta be more chickens over here. I think that's a spider dungeon, so... No chickens anywhere? I don't think the roasters would do anything. There's another chicken jockey that's too far down. What about just regular chickens? I guess we'll have to settle with these 4. don't have to put the horse on a little fence area again. It's technically... we have 4 more chickens. Now please don't be stubborn and not drop any feathers. You know, I had to kill 2 of them just to get a feather. Alright then, for the most important thing. Improving the village defense system. Well, improving this house definitely helped. And this one's got a basic one. Prevent zombies from trying to get to the villagers, or at least it mostly does. It's not 100%. Now then, this. The golem spell. As far as we are concerned, we have at least some pumpkins. And we combine it here, we get a golem head which looks identical to a pumpkin. But in reality, it's not actually a pumpkin. I got these blocks of emeralds for a specific reason. Since we have extra golems, we have an emerald golem that seems to do whatever it wants. Well, with that, I think that we have... I'll have an iron golem alongside just before we end off. I know it's probably not worth it, but at this point we need someone to help alongside the Emerald Golem, so at least there's one way of improving the defense here. Oh, I have the iron blocks right here. Alright then, I think with that, I'm gonna finally end it off here, so... I know if anybody joined just recently... Oh, sorry, I didn't see your comments earlier. I just have a more difficult time reading chat because I don't have a third screen just for the Twitch chat. Alright then. With that, I think it's time to go, so... Thanks for tuning in, everyone. This one's for the YouTube side first. If you enjoyed, leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on new videos, streams, and, of course, shorts that I'll have. I've got social media down below. And with that, I will see you all next time for... I won't have any streams on Wednesday, because I'll get to work making a thumbnail for the Forever World series. And of course, with that, I will see you all